What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Royal Ramble. I'm your host, John Covey Cole, Derek Jones, Brian Resner, Rich Quick in the studio again.
Who once again was not in the opening credits. That's fine.
Listen, you're going to have to talk to Derek about this. We went through about this for a long time.
Derek does not produce this show.
He doesn't, but he understands the pain of not being in the intro.
I do, and I had to rag him for weeks.
Well, I may just not come back. How about that?
I did that.
Well, no,
once.
I'll come back next week. I'll put you in the intro next week.
That was part of my terms to come back, was to get back in the intro.
Yeah, well,
Brian, how's Florida, man? It's nice and cold back here in West Virginia.
It's about 79, 80 degrees here.
Man, you got it hard, don't you, buddy?
It's so hard.
Did you were you able to ease over to the Jacksonville to check out the All Elite Wrestling press conference?
Ease over to Jacksonville. Jacksonville's like 7 hours from me.
I don't know.
John Covey only knows of Jacksonville and Orlando.
Jacksonville's like halfway to West Virginia for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he only knew Orlando until like the press conference. He was like, "Oh Lord, the Jacksonville." All right.
I didn't realize Florida was that broad.
Florida's big. It's really long state.
Huh? So you didn't get to go, but I'm sure you guys watched it just as well as I did.
I did. Watched it live.
And I'm actually going to go ahead and start the Havens right there, because for those of you guys watching for the first time, we do our pros and cons from the wrestling world every week, and we're going to start on pros this week, and I'm going to be greedy, and I'm going to start first. My pro of the week was All Elite Wrestling signing Chris Jericho. Right off the bat, right out of the gun. I mean, he come out I like how he said, he's like, I don't need the money. It's not about the money.
He got the money.
That's my pro, man, because Jericho is... Shawn Michaels had always been my favorite wrestler of all time, but the more and more Jericho does... He's a close two. He may eventually get to number one, but he.
Well, I mean, I've never seen you wear a Shawn Michaels T-shirt on this show, and now every week you're wearing the Jericho shirt. So,
Bobby Cobb. And I will say this about his theme song, though. In a situation like that, it's too damn long. You don't need a 15, 25-second build before you walk out at a press conference.
That's true.
At a press conference where it's a surprise. You know what I mean? Usually, BAM!
Well, I mean, if you're paying attention whatsoever, it wasn't a surprise.
It's a positive.
Well, no, it wasn't. I mean, there was speculation that he was joining.
I mean, we knew Jericho was a part of it before we knew Cody was a part of it.
Well,
in all actuality.
But did you realistically think that he would be at this press conference? I didn't.
I did.
As much as he's been floating around with the Bucks, and he brought them onto their cruise and everything. I mean, he's been spending a lot of time with that group of guys.
Look here, guys. We got Ben Cliff from England. What's up, buddy?
Ben Cliff.
Good to see you, brother. Appreciate you tuning in.
That's right. From last week, from the Ricans of Wrestling, not from John Covey Cole.
Real quick, I got to touch on this. Mark Scott says, the rumor about Chris Benoit in the Hall of Fame true? Hell no, it's not true.
No, it's not true.
Somebody's giving you a hard time. I seen that graphic floating around. That's not true.
How cool would it be if it was?
It'd be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty big.
It'd be well-deserved, in my opinion.
So let's go ahead and roll on, guys. We got a lot to talk about today. Rich, what was your pro of the week, my friend?
Well, my pro of the week was also Chris Jericho signing with All Elite. But since how you chose that one...
You know what happens whenever you pick the same pro as John Covey Cole picks? You know what happens?
You don't get in the intro.
I don't get in the intro, yeah.
You don't make the list.
Yeah, well, so I will say that my pro, other than Chris Jericho, would be that concession stand promo that Daniel Bryan
That was good.
cut.
That was good.
That was very well done. And he's not... And every week I think he is trying to steal Chance Riser's gimmick. Like, either that or Chance just needs to jump on it now and just go, no, I was doing this from the beginning. But he's that special kind of heel that's not telling you anything that you don't already know.
See, this is why I don't have you in the intro, Rich. He's a special kind of heel.
It's gimmick infringement. He's a special kind of bad guy that he's not telling you... He's not lying to you. He's like that annoying friend that like tells you smoking's bad for you. You know what else is bad for you? Telling smokers that smoking's bad for you. It's not good. So it's like he's speaking the truth. Just all the idiot people around going, boo! We love soda. And it's just
hot dog.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, he's just speaking his truth.
I hate to be Debbie Downer, but for me, I enjoyed the bit for sure. But what killed it for me was you had these 6 people inside the barricade that he was playing off of. I mean,
yeah, that was a little
better than that.
Although walking down the steps when he got to the fat guy who jumped in front of him, and he just went impotent. Like that was, I was like, oh, that was
good.
Yeah, that was a good one. I don't think that guy was playing.
You know the guy who threw the chili dog at?
Mm-hmm.
He's actually a wrestler in Orlando for Atomic Revolution Wrestling.
Okay, very cool.
Nice.
I would have taken no. Whoop, that would have sounded bad. I was gonna say I would take a hot dog to a face way cheaper than that guy got, but no, wait, but that's what it sounded bad, so I didn't say it. All right,
Derek Jones, what was your pro of the week, my friend?
So I'm going to go ahead and tell you I had both of those things loaded up just in case neither one of you picked them.
It was a good week.
It was a good week. So thankfully, I'm going to go ahead and revert back to Wrestle Kingdom since we're on the yesterday of the wrestling world. Some great things happened at Wrestle Kingdom, and to stick with Y2J and Naito, that match was awesome.
Would you say it's better than Omega Jericho?
Yes, that match was far better than Omega Jericho.
This is where you guys give me a hard time. I still have not watched Wrestle Kingdom.
You still need to watch it, regardless of win, lose, or draw. I know you know all the outcomes of the matches because I know you've probably read about it, but that match is a standalone match and could have been a show built around it alone.
Nice.
so I think basically what we're saying is that Chris Jericho
Is the GOAT.
had the best week out of everybody in a long time. So
Yeah.
His
Well, he's
last
not-
year and a half, 2-year run has just been amazing.
Well, he's not a part of my pro.
well,
What's
do
your pro?
tell.
Braun Strowman?
No,
No?
definitely not. My pro is the Bar versus the Usos from SmackDown.
That was good. That
good.
was good. That was really good.
It was incredible. What a match. I mean, it had a crappy finish with the Mandy Rose deal, but
Sure.
man, what a match. That was my pro
That
for
was a good
sure.
one. Like you said, it was a crappy finish, but other than that, the match was amazing.
Yeah, great
Let's go to
match.
Facebook real quick and get a couple pros from our friends here on the Facebook here. Sean Bowman says the pro was the tag team division looking strong again, and finally seeing the Revival get opportunities. I don't know how many times they're going to revamp the Revival just to squash them again, though. You know what I mean? I imagine they're part of the crew in WWE that's looking at All Elite Wrestling.
What the Revival is?
I'm guessing. I mean, I'm not saying for sure, but I mean, if I was them, I'd want to roll out and try something different.
The Revival is not going to All Elite
You don't
Wrestling.
think so?
You got to watch Being the Elite.
Oh,
There's like, if there's 30 episodes of Being Elite, there's 30 episodes saying, fuck the Revival.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, see,
Yeah.
there you go. That's
Yeah.
why I got you guys on the show.
Yeah, they're not going there. They might go to Impact. They're not going to All Elite.
Big Cliff says his pro of the week was MJF's promo at the All Elite Wrestling Rally. What an amazing promo. That was good. That was really good. I was telling these guys before we went on the air tonight, I was not familiar with MJF until this rally, and I was like, wow, this guy's got some fire on the mic. Or Rey Mysterio's Canadian Destroyer. That was good.
Yeah. That was a good match all around.
It was. I was tore up. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was upset when it first started, and let's see who come out first. It was Mustafa Ali come out first, and then Ray come out. I was like, okay. And then they had everybody else come out. I'm like, man, I thought I was gonna get Mustafa Ali versus Rey Mysterio. And
That would have been great.
Yeah. Let's see who else we got here. Mark Scott's pro was Hogan on Raw.
Which, by the way,
I can get down with that. I can get down with that pro for sure.
well, I think that is about the only way that they could have had a very strong reaction, like a good reaction to Hulk Hogan coming back.
That was perfect. It was perfect.
And I'm sorry Mean Gene had to die
Yeah.
for Hulk Hogan to be able to come back to us. But you're not going to boo Hulk Hogan when he's wearing a Mean Gene shirt. You know what I mean?
I don't think you're going to boo Hulk Hogan anyway.
I think people would have.
I don't think they would have, man. I think that you're thinking about a group of people who aren't even watching wrestling to begin with. Like in the beginning, well, okay, so Derek, yes, you'll boo Hulk Hogan. Not a group of people will. I was going to refer to you actually, Derek, as this when this whole show started. We were talking about the possibility of Chris Benoit going in the Hall of Fame. And what did you say?
It would be deserved.
It would be deserved. And I agreed with you.
Yeah.
He murdered his whole family.
Well, he ain't going in the Father Hall of Fame.
But what I'm saying is he murdered his whole family, and we still are okay with him. There is nothing Hulk Hogan can do.
I'm not judging Hogan on his outside world activities. He can hate, dislike, and talk.
Well,
shit
that's
about
what
whoever he
I'm.
wants
That's
to.
what I'm saying.
Nah.
That's what I'm saying is you hate Hogan for things he did in wrestling, which is completely okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but you know what?
He
If you
can-
loved, but if you loved Hogan,
I love
If you-
racists. I just hate bad wrestlers.
if you if you hated or if you loved Hogan, there's nothing he did in the outside world that could change your opinion, huh? Because you're a wrestling fan. You
Yeah,
love.
probably. If I really liked Hogan that much, it wouldn't matter if he murdered his
That
kids.
right
and
there's a
wife.
perfect example, Brian.
Right.
For me,
Exactly.
that's a perfect example
I just
for
don't
me
like Hogan.
as to why I hate that kayfabe is essentially dead. Because back when I was growing up, back before, it kind of really started changing when the NWO took over, but kayfabe was a thing. You didn't know about the personal lives; you just knew the characters. You know what I mean? And
So
it
did
was-
you actually
Right.
think that he got those muscles by saying his prayers, taking his vitamins, and
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah, that's how he got him, wasn't
Absolutely. Let's go to one more pro here on Facebook before we move on. Michael Barker says pro was seen Alexa Bliss on Raw. That was actually almost my con, Michael, because I felt like she didn't get enough time there. It was about everybody else. It wasn't about her, which I know she can't wrestle right now.
we'll
but-
expound more on that in my con.
Ooh, well, let's go ahead and move there now. Rich, go ahead and start the festivities, my friend.
Oh, me?
Yeah,
All right.
you.
Well, my con of the week was, and bless her heart, it's not against Alexa Bliss. I personally love Alexa Bliss. I think she is the greatest thing, other than the man, but she's the best thing on Raw. I love Alexa Bliss. But that being said, that Moment of Bliss segment was the crappiest segment in the world, and I'll tell you why. Because it goes for the fact of comedy writers writing a funny bit. They wrote a sketch, and that was fine on paper. I was listening to it, going, "Yeah, I'm sure that was hilarious when they said it in the writers' room. I'm sure it was great." It was like, "I think we got a little crush over here." Like that's okay. Yeah, I can see that being funny, but Nia Jax wouldn't say that. They're writing for the jokes rather than writing for the characters, and this is a classic example of that. And it just didn't work. And that's my opinion on it. I could go on, but we have time limitations.
Like I said,
I
that was
agree.
almost my con. That's well deserved because you hit the nail on the head. They're not writing for the characters; they was writing for the comedy, and the right characters would have been good.
Yeah, but Nia Jax doesn't need to do comedy.
No.
No.
Nia smash.
No, that's my Derek, what was your con of the week, my friend?
So I got a question about that. My con of the week, it just involves all things wrestling, the entire world of
As
wrestling,
a whole.
including this show, right?
Oh, okay.
So my con of the week
Well.
is actually these trashy, scripted, poorly performed promos that are being cut on me by these wannabes, Mike Loving and what's the other?
think Loving's
What's
in,
the other cat's
Travis
name?
Meek?
Travis Meek.
Yeah.
Those were the sorriest attempts at a promo I've ever seen in my life. You had all the time in the world to record it, write it, review it, watch it. Those were the pictures.
How about you learn the name of the show you're coming on?
It's the Royal Ramble Rumble, not the Royal Ramble Trivia Challenge Competition, intergender, whatever. My God.
Well,
And Travis Meek don't even know what place he come in last year. You wasn't second place. You were almost last. George Fama was second to me. And Mike Loving, you wasn't even in the building last year, so I don't know why you're talking.
well, luckily it's not a promo, competition.
Can I
Because
throw
Derek Jones has already won one of those.
And that was, how long ago was that? That was almost 10 years
Hold on a
ago.
second. You want a promo contest? Where was that? What was this?
5 years ago, 8 years ago.
No, that was it.
NWA Mid-Atlantic ran a promo contest.
Okay.
It was great.
It was great. There was a guy, hot
Hot gravy! Hot
gravy, come out of nowhere. If you look him up on YouTube, it was hot gravy. It was the most ridiculous thing out of South Carolina on the gravy boat you'd ever did see, and that's how he talked the whole time. And it was interesting, but it wasn't good enough.
Hey, my wife's putting you over. She said Derek Jones Con. Mike Loving is in the building. Mike, what do you have to say
What?
for yourself? He's
No, you're not.
Can I say something about Travis Meek?
sure.
Travis Meek wouldn't have even made it last year if I didn't bring him. He was totally going to miss it. I found him on the sidewalk at Munchies and was like, hey, I thought you were going to the Royal Rumble. And he was like, oh, man, I don't want to drive over there. And I was like, well, you can ride with me. And he was like, okay, I guess I'll go. And he got in the vehicle and he came. And you know what? This year I'm in Florida. I don't know if he's even going to make it.
Oh,
he might have cut a promo for nothing.
Oh. What was your con of the week, Mr. Resner?
Man, my con of the week is going to be very unpopular. But my con of the week is how freaking corny the AEW press conference was. It was corny.
Yeah.
The whole thing was corny. When they showed the crowd didn't even look that big. It looked like a crowd of an indie wrestling show, and not a big indie wrestling show either. They said there was 10,000 people there. I think that was a Trump count. They said that there was 100,000 people watching. That might have been possible. I definitely was watching on YouTube Live, but I think one thing maybe would have helped it is if they'd had a microphone in the crowd to maybe get the crowd responses. But you couldn't hear the crowd responding.
Yeah, there was
so it looked
there. Yeah.
It looked like a bunch of guys cutting promos for nobody. And like the fireworks, definitely overdone. Everything about it just seemed really corny. And I'm a huge Conrad Thompson fan. I'm a big Conrad.
Tits?
Yeah, I'm a turkey tits. I'm a huge Conrad Thompson fan. I can't believe that dude called him turkey tits, and you could see the heartbreak on his face. But and honestly, I don't even think that dude should have focused that much on Conrad. I'm a huge Conrad fan. I wish he wouldn't have called him turkey tits, but it was kind of. But Conrad kind of disappointed me as well because he was totally in Mark mode. Like he wasn't even like doing a professional hosting job, which we know he can do.
Recorded,
he was like,
recorded.
He was like, hey, you guys like Cody? Hey, are you guys excited about Adam Page? And here's another thing: is if you're going to do a press conference where you're out here and you're going to compete against the WWE, that's your goal. You're going to compete against the WWE. So let's bring out guys who not the average fan has even heard of. You know, and the one guy did a great promo. Yeah, the one that called him turkey tits. I can't even remember. What was his name?
MJF.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, MJF. He did a great promo. Who the hell are you?
Machine Gun.
I don't know. I have no idea who you are or where you're even from.
Oh, that's him.
Regardless, I don't care who he is. Where's he from? Do you know?
New York. Wrestled it all in.
Okay, he wrestled it all in. What else has he done?
Learning to wrestle.
He's only been in.
Yeah, he's like 3 years in.
Okay, 3 years in. What has he done for 3 years? You don't know, is my point, and no one else does either. And just because he can cut a good promo, you know who else can cut a good promo? Eli Drake. And people know who Eli Drake is. You should have brought Eli Drake out there. You should have brought John Morrison.
There's probably only like 20,000 people that know who Eli Drake is. Nobody has those channels.
Yeah, well, regardless, they know who he is more than they know who that guy is. There are all kinds of people. There are all kinds of people you could have got to make a big blowout for your press conference. Your big surprise was the guy who was announced literally months ago. Months ago, we heard that Jericho was going to be a part of this thing with Jim Ross. And the big surprise is you're bringing out Jericho with a 45-second intro. That wasn't a surprise to me. I can't believe that was both of your pros this week.
Jericho's the man.
Okay, Jericho is the man.
The pro was not him at the press conference. The pro was the fact of All Elite signing Jericho.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, they did that 2 months ago. Actually, I would say this whole thing was Jericho's idea. This ain't no surprise. You didn't shock anybody. You didn't surprise anybody. We knew you were going to do Jericho. You want to surprise somebody? bring out freaking Kenny Omega if that's who you got. I hope it's a swerve job. I hope he's saying, yes, I signed with AEW to as many people as he sees, so no one will think about it when he shows up at the Rumble. That's what I'm hoping. But I'm not. I don't want this to be taken as me hating on AEW, because I'm not. I really want competition. I've always been the guy who loved the other side. I love Impact. I loved WCW. I'm a huge ROH fan, and I'm sure I will love AEW as well. I love wrestling, no matter where it comes from. But that press conference was corny. And if I was the con guy who put all that money into just the fireworks, I'd be pissed off at what I got out of it.
Well, the one thing that I think could have helped that is and I'm a big fan of Conrad as well, but if Jim Ross is going to be involved in it, have Jim Ross be the MC. And also, Conrad shouldn't have left the stage. Honestly, I think that ate up. That's like a big pet peeve of mine, is like dead space and dead time. And it's like Conrad introduces people and then gets off stage and goes backstage.
Well, he shouldn't have been visibly nervous. He was very nervous. He was very visibly nervous.
He doesn't go out in public all that often on like huge, scale.
Well, you know what? Grab your nuts, buddy, and come up to the plate. If you're going to be a part of the game and you're number one and you're all this shit, you better come out and start swinging for the fences, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, give him a call and give him some pointers, Resner.
I'm saying if you can't do it, then don't do it.
Now, see that Conrad that you see there, that's what he was like all weekend at StarCast. So that's just him in public. Yeah, that's
if you can't do it, then don't do it. You should have had Jim Ross.
That's why he's a podcast guru. He gets to record his stuff in the privacy of his own home, and don't have to go out and mingle with people. Being live and being in front of people. You know who they should have got is Matt Stryker.
Yeah,
Matt Stryker was available, and he would have been perfect for it. Matt Stryker would have known how to do it. Conrad really screwed it up, I think. And I love Conrad. I'm a huge Conrad fan. I'm a huge Jericho fan. I'm a huge Adam Page fan. Honestly, I liked almost every single person that was a part of that thing, and I still think it sucked.
Like, I have a question about All Elite Wrestling. Who's gonna be the champs? Because it's
Young Bucks and Cody.
Yeah, Young Bucks and Cody, and then you're gonna have Jericho. Okay, now you got SoCal signed on. Mm-hmm. All right, cool. They're the other tag team to fight the Bucks.
Yeah.
And tournament.
Yeah, and then Hangman Page and Pac.
Britt Baker is their female champion.
Yeah. I
mean, you know what? That was really crappy too. If you're going to really make some noise, then you would have figured out how to sign Tessa Blanchard before that day, instead of here's some girl that nobody knows. Come on out here. Here's the girl who lost to Tessa Blanchard.
Well, see, here's what you're forgetting is that, you don't know who Britt Baker is. You don't know who MJF is. But everybody starts someplace. And if you can get your big debut, your big, experience or your first break, so to speak.
I'm
just saying, don't be hating on MJF just because you don't know who he is, because
I'm not hating on him. I want him to get his shine. I want him to get his break. I want him to have all those things. You are hurting him by putting him in that position, and I'll tell you why. Because nobody does know who he is, and now that's all they think about is, who is this guy? They're not listening to him. They're not taking him in. Now, if this was the first TV show and he was on the first TV show, awesome. This is the press conference. This is where you make your noise. This is where you get people to watch the first TV show. You don't do that with unknowns.
Brian, I'm
sorry. Just don't.
Let's cut you off right there, my friend. Usually I agree with almost everything you say, but I'm not with you on this one, because for me, I didn't know who he was either. But it intrigued me so much that I wanted to know more about him. Next to Jericho showing up, I was like, who's this MJF guy? Calling people turkey tits. This is great. I got to learn more about this guy. But that was justified con. There was a lot of things about that was a little cheesy, if you will. But I'll go ahead and throw my con out, and then we'll move on. My con of the week was Carmella being in the triple threat match on SmackDown, because I'm sorry, she does not belong there. She's not a good wrestler. And I'm not just saying this because I'm not a fan of her or whatever, but she's not a good wrestler. And don't think that she did herself any favors in that match. And in my opinion, she should have won the match. Then you should have had Becky and Charlotte both in the Rumble. But I just didn't like seeing Carmella in that match. And me saying I didn't like seeing Carmella is kind of weird, I know, but I just didn't like her in the match.
Well, I didn't like that match, but not because of Carmella. It did not go the way that I felt that it should go. The way that would make sense to me is, well, I'm like, well, okay. I was watching it going, okay, well, Carmella's not going to win. She's number 30 in the Rumble.
Right.
The whole mixed match challenge was based on, okay, she won, so now she's number 30. So she's not going to win this match. I thought the best thing to do is to have Charlotte win that match, go face Asuka, then Becky Lynch win the Royal Rumble, and then say, who do you want? I want Ronda Rousey. I don't want no. And then that would be. But apparently they're going.
They've been talking about it since Ronda showed up. It's eventually going to be Ronda and Charlotte at WrestleMania for the belt. They've talked about it since the first day she come to the company. They knew they were building.
How about this
to that.
for an angle? If they would have went this way, kind of everything you just said, but instead of saying I want Charlotte or I want Becky, whoever Becky wins the Rumble, whatever. I want Charlotte. And I also want Ronda Rousey.
I want them both.
Match.
I want to unify the titles.
That would be kind of cool.
I want both of them.
But yeah, it was a little surprising how that went. But I mean, I'm just not a fan of Carmella. I like the comedy stuff she's doing with R-Truth. I think that's where she needs to stay. When Ellsworth was there, I know Brian wasn't a huge fan of him, but I felt like it worked with him because she was kind of on the comedic side of things too with him, and it worked. But I don't see her as a main event player in the WWE, in my opinion. That's
John Covey Cole, I got 3 words for you. Mella is money. Now, I got something that I kind of want to mention before we get off the pros and cons, though. Was anyone excited about the energy and attitude of R-Truth in that match with Daniel Bryan? I know I was. As an R-Truth fan, I was like, wow. He's serious right now.
R-Truth is 167 years old, and how he continues to look like that and work like that.
I was just saying, yeah, he's in the best shape that you could possibly be in. So I don't know where that would be. His age doesn't matter if he looks like a freaking Greek god.
Yeah. Well, I want to say one quick thing about another negative, in my opinion, that I feel needs to be talked about. That horrific segment with Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar.
Terrible.
It was like, this is the only, I apologize, Mr. Heyman. This is the only time I will probably ever say anything negative or disparaging about you. But he didn't help Braun Strowman at all. Braun was having trouble, and he just let him sink and brought attention to the fact that he was sinking. And it was like, oh, dude. Oh, come on, Heyman, help a guy out. Like, help your scene partner, man. No, he was just like, just like, look at this guy. He sucks. And it was just like, oh, and it kind of made me feel bad for Braun Strowman because he's just not a good talker.
But here's the thing. To me, you've got to be the total package if you want to carry the belt. If you can't cut a promo, you don't deserve the belt.
I agree. But let's move on, guys. Let's talk about some other news going on in the wrestling world. It's being reported that AEW contracts will be comparable to WWE contracts. But that being said, I seen today where it's also rumored that Meltzer is making false reports to make the AEW stars seem more relevant and more important, if you will. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Well, it may be close to WWE contracts, like the base WWE contracts, because I know there's some guys that make $80,000 a year plus merchandising. I mean,
I also heard they were going to get health insurance.
That's cool.
So
that's cool.
Well, I got one for you on that. And I can't reveal my sources, but I do have sources that tell me that Dave Meltzer's report about Kenny Omega getting offered $23 million is complete lies. And that Kenny Omega was not offered $23 million by the WWE. He was not offered creative control, and he was offered a pretty standard contract that he declined.
That would make more sense.
Yeah, makes more sense. All Elite Wrestling logo T-shirts are already the #1 selling shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees. That's not surprising. Everybody's all about the new hip thing going on.
Yeah.
It's rumored that Impact and AEW will be working together, which I think will be good for both companies. At least starting out, I say AEW, it has the potential to go way past of Impact's. I don't know if they're going to do like a cross-promotion thing or share talents or what, but I think they need to keep the Impact name off of All Elite Wrestling.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't put that evil on them, Ricky
Did
Bobby.
you guys both just agree with me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree as well.
Wow.
A blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Wow,
Cubby.
that's awesome.
I think that Impact would be a huge stain on AEW.
Yeah. I think they should stick to New Japan. If they're going to want to work with another company, New Japan. And
I personally think they shouldn't even talk about anybody. They should be just like WWE, who don't mention anybody but themselves.
WWE recently sent out a graphic on Twitter that asked the fans, who would you pick in a dream match, Cena or Becky? Do you think they were kind of testing the waters to maybe possibly have some kind of intergender match at some point there?
Oh, man, I hope not.
No, nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see a John Cena Becky Lynch match.
That be terrible.
Well, I mean, because here's an unpopular opinion, but this is exactly what would happen. It's like a Brock Lesnar Ronda Rousey match. How you think that would go? Brock Lesnar would smash her in 3 seconds. So, if John Cena, this is honestly why I don't like intergender matches, like in Lucha Underground or stuff like that. Is that no, you may be the baddest woman on the planet. You might be the man, Becky Lynch, but you're not gonna win maybe against me. Ronda Rousey would kill me, but she ain't gonna kill John Cena. Becky Lynch ain't gonna kill John Cena. Me, yeah, okay. I've made peace with that. But John
I don't think Becky Lynch could take me.
Really?
No, I don't think.
I'd let her try.
At all.
But
maybe Ronda Rousey.
Maybe Ronda Rousey?
but not Becky Lynch. There's no way.
Lesnar thinks he can.
I'm a 300-pound man.
And Ronda Rousey is an Olympic the Olympic medalist.
Yeah, she breaks arms for a living.
She went to the Olympics.
Okay, so Ronda Rousey probably, but not Becky Lynch.
I'm glad we could talk you back, Resner.
Becky Lynch couldn't whip my ass. I don't give a shit.
That's fair.
That's fair. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. I want to show you guys a quick video about this wrestling promotion up in Fairmont. If you guys haven't checked them out yet, check them out. It's called Real Shoot Wrestling. They got a show coming up February 2nd. Here's a little clip from those guys. We'll be right back.
Wait for me to get you inside the hands of time. Your fear is not your voice. So take a breath and close your eyes. We're gonna see your war. You are your lonely flesh. And bind the hands of fear. Hold up.
The question on everyone's mind is, who's been attacking Bruce Gray? And it's a great question, but I think it's time that maybe that question is answered. Bruce, you've been ducking and dodging me for so long that I just couldn't help myself. I couldn't help but take matters into my own hand. Because I've pitched and I've tried everything to get you into the ring with me, and you just don't think that I'm worth your time. And to your credit, you've been spending all of your time going up and down West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and winning championship after championship. But Bruce, look deep inside yourself. Does any of that really mean anything to you if you can't beat Jackson Argos? Bruce, the ball is in your court. Now that I have your attention, I have to assume that I have management's attention. Anytime, anywhere, one-on-one. Bruce Gray versus Jackson Argos.
There's no escape.
right, guys, you get a chance, go up there and check out Real Shoot Wrestling. They got a lot of great stuff going on up there. Cheeseburgers.
Cheeseburger. Yeah.
Look
at that.
Pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I don't know if I'll ever make that show, but I'd like to for sure. Let's move along, guys. Kushida, did I say it right? Kushida and Kenny Omega have essentially said their goodbyes at New Japan. You think that's a work? You think they're done?
I think they're done.
So they're going to All Elite Wrestling or WWE, right?
They're going somewhere else.
I mean, as we just, we spent like the last segment of the show talking about how Dave Meltzer wasn't right on things. Right. So I hear that Kushida is definitely going to WWE.
Okay.
But who knows?
Right.
That's honestly why I love professional wrestling, is that I don't know.
Right.
You get to guess, and you get to go, oh, well, okay. I'm on the ride with you. I don't need to know all the spoilers.
I'd rather not know the spoilers and just go back to, like I was talking about earlier, when kayfabe was still alive, where I could watch the show and not know what's going to happen or not know who's going to show up. You mentioned earlier about Jericho. He'd been signed on for essentially a couple months, at least a couple weeks. How big would it have been if people did not know he was going to be there, did not know he was affiliated with them? It would be huge.
Then it would have been huge.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that it was a widely known thing.
Well, no. I mean, to the smarts of the world like ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was a widely known thing. They announced that Chris Jericho and Jim Ross were talking to the Khan guy about creating a wrestling federation to go up against the WWE. And then it happened. I knew Jericho was going to be a part of it.
Well, that's the beauty of Chris Jericho, is that you want kayfabe to be alive, and Jericho is trying his best.
He is. He's
to
good
keep
at
it alive.
Just like when he showed up at All In. Did you see that coming? You were there. Did
I
you
was
see
there.
that coming?
No, and even when it happened, it was the most interesting result ever, because if you were in the arena and you were in Chicago, there was a massive storm going on above us. So the power outage we legitimately thought was a power outage.
Oh, I thought the power was gone.
Yes.
Oh,
we had no
nice.
clue because you heard thunder and rain hitting the top of that arena
There was
all night
actually
long.
not a thunderstorm. Jericho was working with God.
Right.
And they did a thing there to help keep the kayfabe alive.
Look. God's a wrestling fan.
You know what would have popped me at that AEW press conference?
What's that?
Flip Gordon.
Yeah. He's
And
still
you could
under
have got
contract
Flip
with Ring of
Gordon.
Honor, though.
Is he contracted?
Yeah.
Is anybody still sad for Marty?
That was bad. I've watched it was my first episode of All Elite, or Being the Elite, and I felt bad for Marty. I was like, man, poor guy.
Poor Marty.
Poor Marty. Kenny hung out with him for a little while, though, didn't he?
So
was that kind of a sign saying Kenny Omega was going to hang out with him for a little while in Ring of Honor?
No, you're reading too much into it.
Too much into it.
I think you guys aren't looking into it enough. There's a reason why they did it the way they did it, I think.
They did it, so we'll talk about it. They want to be the most talked about thing in the world right now.
They are.
And that's what
in the
we're
wrestling
doing.
world, they are.
Because the thing is that you knew Kenny and the Bucks were going here. Marty can't go here.
Right.
Kenny might go there.
Right.
So they all can't be like one cohesive unit. And it's like, oh, well, of course Kenny's going. They all left together on Being the Elite. So no, it's for the benefit of Kenny.
Or is that the goodbye show of Being the Elite because Kenny will no longer be on Being the Elite?
I don't know, but it's interesting.
You know what I would just real quick before we go away from AEW, if one person that needs to be a part of AEW, that if he's not a part of AEW, then he is a freaking idiot, and it makes me hate him even more than I already do, is CM Punk. CM Punk. This is exactly what CM Punk wanted. This is exactly what he asked for. This is exactly why he left the WWE. If
CM
he
Punk,
isn't a
from
part
what
of
I gathered,
AEW,
Brian, is one of these people that just complain to complain. And if he gets what he wants, he's still going to complain.
He does seem like a miserable human being.
He really does.
But I like him.
But you know what? AEW is all about hiring miserable human beings. Billy Gunn's a producer there.
True story. True story.
Yeah.
Impact, Brian. I know you're a big fan of Impact. They're going to be streaming on Twitch every Friday at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, they have to because now they're on the Outdoor Channel or something.
Poor guys.
Why don't they?
Yeah.
They would get much. I think they would get more viewers if they just went solely Facebook Live.
If I was Impact, I would be on YouTube.
Yeah,
I
just
would.
go to
I
YouTube, sell
literally would
ads.
be on YouTube.
Let's see. January 26th, Jake Hager. You know who that is, Brian?
No.
Jack Swagger makes his MMA debut at Bellator 214. Does that?
Oh,
anything for you
okay.
guys?
Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can almost guarantee he's going to be a better MMA fighter than CM Punk.
Well, see, and that's exciting for me because I was an amateur wrestler. So to me, Jack Swagger from Oklahoma,
Yeah.
Jake Hager was a big name. I mean,
Right,
I
right.
know him. I followed him through his college career. So to see him actually step back into something, a little more hand-to-hand combat wise, I'm super excited. Because I was
Yeah,
excited. when he came
I think he's going to do
WWE.
really well.
Well, I certainly hope so.
Yeah. He was an amazing wrestler, so his takedown skills and everything else like that should come second nature to him again. I just hope they taught him how to strike a little bit.
It's all different when you get punched in the face.
That's right.
Like, was it Mike Tyson? Who was it? Muhammad Ali? Everybody's got a game plan until you
That's
get punched in the face. Oh, excuse me. NXT UK Takeover Blackpool is this weekend. Anybody going to be watching?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Brian, you going to be watching?
Oh, yeah.
I probably won't be, but I'll try to catch it. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying.
Man,
Trying.
Pete Dunne and Joe Coffey is going to be a.
It's going to be amazing.
Joe Coffey. Wasn't he in the Green Mile?
That's a deep dive there, Cubby Cole. That's a deep dive.
Oh, that's John Coffey. That's John Coffey.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Sorry.
Not to pull away from what you're going, but I know you're talking about other shows and promotion. Did any of you guys watch Impact Homecoming?
I did not.
Derek
I
Jones
missed
did.
it,
I
unfortunately.
did watch it. And there's one, and you talked about Eli Drake earlier, and I don't like to give the guys due, but his match with Abyss was great. And there's a belly to belly from Abyss, and that it was perfect. It was great.
I saw out of the ring,
Yeah.
like through the table.
Yeah.
Yes, I did see
Abyss
that.
making moves, is he?
Abyss was impressive. In
Well,
this
he stood
match.
there and did that. But
He guided.
That's right.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
cool, man.
Well, it's
That was
hard to
brutal.
look bad in a match with Eli Drake.
oh goodness gracious!
Oh, excuse
when
me.
you're Eli Drake.
All right, I debated all week if I was going to do this or not. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a quick clip, and then we're going to talk about it. Here you go.
Hey, tuna! You want to taste the tuna?
Now that gives a whole new meaning to Face Full of Stuff right there.
I see the comment one because the chick's name is Tuna, right?
The girl that she was wrestling
Yeah.
was Tuna. Yeah.
Somebody put a comment on one of the videos that said she gave Tuna the tuna.
Oh God!
I put this in the category. This is actually a step above, but I know some of you guys here on the show is a fan of Joey Ryan and his Dick Plex and all that crap. It's the same kind of crap, and this is, like I said, is a step above that. And I'm not just saying this. I'm not being sexist by no means. It's just why do you have to be nasty like that?
Well, it was a bar show,
Yeah.
for
I don't care
one.
what it was.
21
You telling me
plus,
Munchies would
hardcore
condone
match.
that kind of shit, Brian?
If there was midgets doing it, yes.
I mean, you know what? Nobody knew who the hell that girl was until this week.
She was in the Mae Young Classic. People knew who she was. I mean, not on the levels that they do now, but Mark Scott says, "What the? That graphic ain't supposed to be on there."
If she would have done that before the Mae Young Classic, she would have never been on the Mae Young Classic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's an interesting spot. I will tell you that. Like,
Right.
it's interesting to be like, I got an idea. How about
this?
And then the other person go, yeah, dude, that sounds great. Yeah.
I love how the crowd turned on her because she said something to her, and they're like, "Yeah!" And then they sit here digging, and they're just like, "Oh,
No, stop. Like,
should I cheer? Is this? Am I going to hell? What's going on right now?" Big Cliff, he hit the nail on the head. He said that spot was bloody amazing. Big straight line, was like Santa Claus.
He's from England. That's
Right,
not a
right,
play on words,
right.
guys.
well said, man. Well said.
wow.
But
I like Ben Cliff.
I had
do
to
too.
throw that out there.
Come and take my spot next week.
Jason Heiser says, hell, I'm late to the party. What did I miss? You just missed some
Oh, Lord.
funk. That's what you just missed. You just missed some funk. And actually, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back and get away from this nastiness of
You did this to us, John.
I know it. I couldn't help it. I felt like I would have been doing the wrestling world an injustice if I didn't show that clip on the show tonight. I had to.
Okay, then.
You are welcome. Guys, we'll be right back. Stick around.
Two attorneys, one location. Gavin Ward and Josh Miller.
Hello, my name's Gavin Ward. I'm an attorney serving Southern West Virginia. If you need help with a real estate transaction or closing, probating a estate, a property dispute, estate planning, or bankruptcy, give us a call. We can help.
Hello, I'm attorney Josh Miller. I serve Southern West Virginia. If you've been injured in a car accident or hurt on the job or charged with a crime, please come see me today. I can help.
For a free consultation, call 681-207-7400.
Dorsey's Hogtails, located on U.S. Route 60 just off of Route 19 and just past Midland Trail High School. There's always something going on at Dorsey's, and you can bet that whatever it is, it's a good time. Be sure to try some of the best food in Southern West Virginia. Then, you can sharpen those billiard skills with a relaxing game of pool. Dorsey's also offers some of the best live local music in the region on most weekends. So what are you waiting for? Stop in and see what makes Dorsey's so great. That's Dorsey's Hogtails, located on U.S. Route 60 just off of Route 19 in Hyco.
Fans, are you aware that you can now catch all of WVCW's events on the Pivot Share, or you can go on the High Spots Network if you're already a member. You can catch it there. That's the best way that you can stay in touch with all of WVCW's great events. So we look forward to seeing you at the shows and watching on the network.
Axe handles him right in the lumbar region.
Votto's fighting back best he can, though.
Big stretch on that choke in the corner.
So that's the thing about these millennials. When things don't go their way, they just throw a little tantrum and throw the rules out and just do whatever they want. So entitled.
He was going for that suplex, and Bravado was able to block it. Used his own weight and momentum to stop it.
Reversal there.
Big snap suplex from Harlem Bravado. Riser able to rush and get that knee up as he was coming off the ropes. Follows it up with almost like a punt kick to the back.
Near fall there. Bravado holding on best he can, really wanting to take home that Real Shoot Wrestling Internet Championship with him back to North Carolina tonight.
Locks in with that rear chin lock.
Chin lock and almost kind of like a stretch there, working the back and the chin area on Bravado.
The crowd coming alive with the Harlem chant.
Fighting back up, though. The crowd can only come alive so much for a pull of the hair.
Riser looks like he's following a drop kick to the back.
Drop kick right there in the back. Another near fall there.
Riser looking frustrated.
Yeah, you can see that. See it right on his face. He is ready for this match to be over. Chance Riser come out here expecting an easy night and then being put through the ringer by Harlem Bravado.
And that forearm in the corner, did you hear the ring shift on that?
Yeah.
He put some momentum behind that. Now he's going to whip him to the air towards us in the corner. Follows up again. Bravado able to get that elbow up.
Responds with a big elbow there.
Oh. Bravado measuring him. Drop kick off the second ropes.
That took a lot out of Harlem Bravado, too, though. He's not quick to get up after that huge drop kick.
No, I mean, he definitely made the impact with his feet, but then his back absorbed the impact of the fall. And look at this crowd. He's getting this crowd involved.
All right, guys, there you go. There's a look at WVCW out of Bluefield, West Virginia. They got a big show coming up on the it is the 26th of this month. It's going to be a lot of fun. I should be there. I want to try to drag Mr. Jones with me if I can, if he's not caught up at work.
I'm not working.
But yeah, guys, go check out WVCW. If you can't, like I said, or like they said rather, you can find them online if you want to check them out that way if you can. A lot of what I wanted to do with this show was not only talk about the big leagues, if you will, is I want to put over these independent promotions. Brian, I know you're in Florida now. We haven't talked about this yet, but if you come across some companies down there that are doing good things, send them my way, man. We'll get them on the show here. Let them get a look out there, because if people's watching the show and is curious about a wrestling show, hey, let's go check out these guys. That's kind of my rub to the business, if you will. I want to help out where we can here on the show. But you guys have anything else you want to discuss before we move on to our weekly topic?
Yeah, actually. A couple things from local wrestling news. The Crown Jewel, Chase Owens, announced that he has officially signed his contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling. So congratulations to the Crown Jewel. And the second thing is that a good friend of the show, dear close personal friend, Jason the Gift Kincaid, is leaving his position as head trainer at Face to Face Wrestling in Georgia, owned by Heath Slater and Teddy Long. And it's he's done a very good job down there, and he's going to be going off to Japan, working a lot more. So they wished him best of luck. He wished him best of luck. It was all mutual, and it's all good.
This is a prime example as to why this All Elite Wrestling is a big deal. It gives coffee, right, Brian? Coffee? Is that what you said?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I just had to look up and see. He said, coffee, what? But this is a perfect example of why All Elite Wrestling, not just All Elite Wrestling, but Impact, anybody, Major League Wrestling, they start signing these guys to bigger contracts. It gives these other guys a chance to move up in the ranks and eventually get to where they're trying to go. You know what I mean? I love it. Anything else, gentlemen, before we move on? Brian, Derek? Nope. Okay, well, our topic this week is, we've been talking about it all week, what was the biggest return of all time in wrestling? And this was easier than I thought it was going to be. There's been a lot. It goes back to what I was talking about earlier with the kayfabe. Back when it was surprising to see these guys come back, it was a whole different world. Now, mind you, I was a lot younger and a lot more impressionable, but it was a whole different time being a wrestling fan back then. And it's every now and again I'll get surprised now. Like, first thing that comes to mind recently that surprised me was when Roman came out with the leukemia. Yeah, that was the leukemia announcement. It was devastating on its own, but then they had the balls to turn Dean Ambrose heel the same night. That was just, I didn't see him doing that. I was like, yeah, all right, here we go, boys. But that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about the biggest returns of all time. We've done this different ways in the past. Do you guys want to do it where we name our picks and then discuss? Is that how you want to do it, or what do you think, guys?
Yeah, we could do that.
That would be fine. So I have a question about it though, because I know there's we've always kind of put a little bit of limitation and rules on the things we pick.
Sure,
and talk
this
about.
is probably something you should have talked to your producer about before the show.
I know.
But yeah, go ahead.
Well, like there's one of the images on the screen that you played just a minute ago. So is it returns or debuts? Because there's a little bit of a difference.
Returns,
okay.
Yeah, returns.
So
but it's kind of the same thing. If they disappear for a while and then come to a WWE, it's a return to wrestling.
Right. Okay. Well, that's kind of
talking about like the debut of Sting.
Sting. He debuted in WWE, but it was his return. Right. I was just curious about that. So mine stays the same either way, and I'm trying to stay away from things you guys might pick. It's one that I remember very vividly, so I just wanted to touch base on. I just want to cause problems, Brian, Rich, do you guys have any
opening thoughts before we dive into this?
I defer to the gentleman on the screen.
Mr. Resner?
I have two.
So you can't have two. How many times have we done this?
Okay, I do have. I have a number one, but I have another one that I want to mention.
I got two also. I got one right there.
Man, this show has gotten X-rated in
That's what you guys
2019.
done to me. You got me
Not
out
by
there
me.
on the hell.
I'm as pure as a church mouse, baby.
Mr. Jingles. Okay, I'll start it off then. That work?
Did you just watch The Green Mile? Is that why all this is fresh in your head?
I want to watch the Green Mile now. All of a sudden, I don't know why.
All right.
For me, it was Triple H in 2002 after his quad injury.
Oh man. Okay, well I've only got one now.
I knew that's what he was.
They didn't expect him back for another 4 or 5 months. He comes back early. Leather jacket, looking like $1 million.
Huge.
Oh.
I remember where I was when that happened. Do you remember where you were, Resner?
I do remember where I was. Go ahead and tell them.
We were eating chicken wings. Well, at least I was eating chicken wings. But we were at this old classy establishment called the Quarter Bounce. And
yes, we were.
Heard a lot of horror stories about that place.
Yeah. Well, that happened, and that I'm sure the birth of his children have been a happier day for Mr. Resner, but not by much, because that was like Resner's heart grew 3 sizes that day.
I was so jacked. That was my biggest return ever.
It was huge.
I loved it.
Huge.
What's your other one there?
So what's your other number one? Since you only got one now. See, that was my plan. That was my thought process. I almost said.
Well, I have to say this, that before we get off of Triple H coming back, because that was really my pick. He looked like a He-Man when he beat Kurt Angle up and then ripped his shirt off. That was the biggest we had ever seen Triple H ever. We had never seen Triple H look that jacked ever in life until that day. It was like getting Super Saiyan Triple H.
So was he on the steroid juice, or was it from the McMahon juice that helped him swallow?
I'm pretty sure he was just taking his vitamins and saying his prayers,
drinking milk and all that stuff.
Okay, so my pick now has to be when The Rock came back in 2011, and no one expected it. They were like, the host of WrestleMania 27. And then all these weird sounds were happening, and all the lights were shutting off and stuff. And everybody's like, "Who is the host?" And then it was The Rock.
Wow, that was big.
That was definitely my second favorite return of all time. If you took the Triple H away from me, Triple H was still the best return in the history of mine.
See, I know I liked you.
Thanks,
Even though you don't like cheesy press conferences.
I don't.
Hey, I didn't bring up FCW's press conference from KazakhStan last year, so you should be talking about other people's press conferences, Brian.
That press conference was fire.
That was good. That was good.
You cause people problems, emotional problems.
He's going to arrest you and everything else, man. It was wild time.
Wow, we've never even spoke about that. The backstage.
That's the kayfabe that I like to leave out there, Brian. Leave them wondering, brother.
Emotionally triggered so many people.
Yeah, so many people.
Yeah, so many people.
They were triggered.
All 2 people were triggered, wasn't they?
I think it was like 6, and they were all like people who probably should have been screamed at as children more, and then they wouldn't have been so weak to it.
People are being mean at a wrestling show. I don't like it.
Fighting each other. Rich Quick, what's your favorite? I'm sorry, not your favorite, but what's the best return?
I had thought about, not the most recent bald-headed, terrible Shawn Michaels return.
That was
not that one. Nay, no. The other one, when he was off for years and then came back.
To fight Triple H.
That was a great one.
Yeah. That's a good one. But because I am a forward-thinking man and I like to be on the right side of history, I will say that Daniel Bryan's recent return could go down in history as one of the best. No, I never would be fickle with him. He's very good. And so I think as time goes on, this might be, especially if he keeps up the caliber work that he's doing right now, I think that this could be looked upon in the future as one of the greatest.
I think you're absolutely right. And what really sets me back about it is us as fans really didn't have a chance to process what happened, because all of a sudden he's GM, we see him every week, yada, yada, yada. Bam, he's back in the swing of things. Wrestling every week. It's like nothing ever happened. It's amazing. You're
that's
right.
why you got to watch Total Bellas and Total Divas, and you get caught up on all the non-scripted.
Or you can watch, she had some photos leaked. You can watch those. What were those?
Oh, no. Resner wanted to bring that up.
What was the guy's name? The photos just leaked, Brian?
Tony Storm.
Yeah, you can watch that instead of Total Bellas.
So, what happened?
What happened, Brian?
She got the fappening happened to her. Like she took a picture naked in front of the mirror
Just
and
one picture?
Say what?
Hey, hold on.
Talk amongst yourselves. We're busy.
Let me know when it's my turn.
Yeah, she was one of many that it's happened to. There's been Charlotte. There's been.
Is that not like a top search result?
I think if Rich would have known about this might have been his pro of the week.
Yeah, it might have been.
Still might be.
It's a good one.
Okay, let's move on, Derek. I need you back.
All right. Okay. So.
Best return of all time, my friend.
Best return or most favorite return?
Wait. Before you guys flip completely out over the Tony Storm pictures, she actually said that she's considering quitting wrestling because
of this.
Yeah.
Oh, Paige is much freakier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweetheart.
And I mean,
don't quit over this.
She needs to watch
Charlotte
Kelly's videos. What she needs to do.
If Charlotte Flair didn't quit wrestling after we seen her cockeyed boob job and her weird vagina muscle, then I think that she could stay going with that great picture that she has out.
Well, we just lost all our female viewers.
Yeah, bye, ladies.
Bye, John's wife. That's about it.
Right.
Hey, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go look up Charlotte's leak. That's a weird picture.
Like a Charlotte, Virginia, or like a China, Virginia. Was it? Because that was kind of scary.
Where's Virginia coming from?
He doesn't want to say the real word.
Oh, no. I'll show you later. It's fine.
No, it's not a China situation at all. It's just she's really physically fit.
Pelvic
that
muscle
even
that's bulging.
Her pelvic muscle is beastly.
The mons pubis, I believe, is what
Isn't there a rumor out there that that's actually?
Oh, don't even say it. Don't even.
Yeah,
say
please
it.
don't say
don't
it. That's
even say
worse
that.
than anything I have ever said. If you say that, it'll be worse than the two dogs thing that I said last season.
I don't know, man. That was pretty good.
I don't know. Not if you mentioned the conspiracy theory.
You're gonna get us cut off.
I don't have any more feet to put in my mouth, Derek.
All right, so
best return, not favorite return. Best return.
See,
you can give both to them if you want.
I'm going to give you both. I'm going to give you the best return of all time, and it's not my favorite because of who it was, but the return when it happened was in the 06 Royal Rumble, the number 30 spot. John Cena makes his return. They were in Madison Square Garden. It's probably the biggest pop I've ever heard, and to me, that's the best return of all time. And I hate John Cena, and I hate the fact that I even have to say that, but it was huge.
You should really rewatch the Triple H return from 2002. That was the biggest pop I've ever heard.
It was good, and I remember it very, very vividly. We talked about it actually last week when the show went off, and that was one of the first ones we mentioned. But still, the best return of all time has to be Cena. Now, my favorite return of all time is another Royal Rumble moment, but it's from 04. You've got the year of the legend killer Randy Orton just taking out all these old guys, and here comes, the New Year's rounded about. I think you've got Orton, Angle, and Benoit in the ring. Test is supposed to be number 21. Test has jumped in the back. Stone Cold is the GM at the time. I remember all this because it's that good.
You didn't watch it like recently?
No, I remember this. I could tell you this story any day of the week because I absolutely love this return. It's my favorite Royal Rumble entrant. So you just see Stone Cold laying over Test, like, what happened? And he looks at him, he's like, he was my 20, now you got to go be my number 21. And all of a sudden, here comes Mick Foley. And by God, he saved the day because he's coming after Randy Orton. He eliminates himself in the Rumble and everything, but it's the best return I've ever seen. It's my favorite.
I remember that as well. It was a great return.
That was a good one. Let's go to comments on Facebook real quick. Let's see. Ernest Davis says Shawn Michaels. I never thought I'd see the Heartbreak Kid again.
I'm with you, Ernest.
Derek Riston says Sting. Sting was a big one. That goes to
well, which one though? The Sting from WCW where he returned as the Crow, or the Sting where he showed up in WWE? Because the WWE was the biggest one to me.
What's that?
The WWE Sting return is the biggest one to me, but there's also that return as the Crow.
Yeah, that was in 1997 when he come back and dropped down and started that whole process.
I mean, even, if you want to talk about Sting, you go more detailed. What about when he come back? Was it 90 or 91 when he returned after he had a meniscus tear or something to beat Flair for the belt?
Oh, that is another return.
That was a
That's
big
true.
return for him, too.
Mm-hmm.
If it would have been 92, Brian would have been all over
Brian
that
been
one.
all over it.
I'm not a Sting fan.
You just mad because you broke your boy's neck, that's all.
Don't mention that, John Covey.
Big Cliff says, I agree, Triple H's comeback was utterly amazing. Done perfectly, and no one expected it at all. That's correct. It was huge. Sean Bowman says, Sting coming
Right
back
there.
from his knee injury and finally beating
90.
Flair.
Great American Bash, yeah.
Yeah. John Cena Royal Rumble, says Mark Scott. Ben Cliff says, for me, when Brock came back in F5, John Cena was awesome. Because John Cena was literally smashing everybody and nobody could beat him or get near Cena at all.
That's when he busted Cena's mouth open real good, too, right?
Yeah, I think
Man,
so.
maybe I should have picked that one just for that fact.
That was a great match. That led to a really great match, too.
Jason Heiser says the Hardy Boys at Mania. That was a big one.
That was big.
That was a very good one. Yeah.
I was there live in the arena.
Well, you know what's cool about that? You was there when they returned to WWE, but I was at the last independent show they was at before going back to WWE.
Which means now we're cosmically connected.
We are. We totally are.
So we're talking about this now. What happens when Roman comes back? Does that take?
Then
the
it might
place
be
of
that might be the biggest one ever of all time.
Do you think they have the balls big enough to work us? And this is the way they have figured out to get Roman over with the fans?
No.
I mean, I would not put
it would
anything
work.
past Vince McMahon to do
Put him in
something
the Rumble.
like this. To be
Put him in the
honest.
Rumble. It would work.
Rumble's too soon.
No, Rumble's too soon.
You think so?
Yeah, Rumble next year maybe. Rumble now is too soon.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, he...
Survivor Series.
It would be... Could it possibly be done? Absolutely. Is it? Absolutely not. In
Why
today's
not?
climate,
Why not?
in today's climate, you think you're going to go, hey, just kidding about that whole leukemia thing.
Well, we
I don't
don't.
think
You don't have to tell them they're kidding.
Yeah, I don't have to tell them they're kidding.
Oh, that.
Roman Reigns, the Miracle Man.
Oh, that shit would
comes
come
back
out.
to
No,
save
that would
the
come
day
out.
after he saved himself.
Roman Joe is back.
Oh, that would be. But when he comes back, that gives. And I'm not being
Hey,
insensitive
Brian, no
here.
smoking in the studio.
And I'm not being insensitive here, but this is an opportunity because I have no doubt Roman will come back.
Sure.
He'll come back and he'll be the most over thing in the world. But what happens if he, loses his
Smile?
No, I was going to say godlike hair. You know what I
That
mean?
was great.
It would be a whole new repackaging of Roman Reigns.
You could shave him bald
Or put
and
on a
bring him
cane
back
wig.
as a Samoan. That's
Okay,
fine.
with
Let
it.
him actually be a Samoan.
I'm fine with that.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I like once again with the kayfabe guys. I'm really excited with the kayfabe tonight. I want to see him come back at the Rumble and just act like nothing ever happened. Worked you guys, and here we go. I don't think it's going to happen.
No, because that would. I mean, if you want him to make the greatest heel turn of all time,
No.
Nah.
Like Derek said,
Cena's coming back to win the Rumble. Don't
you
get
ain't-
excited, John.
He ain't going to win the Rumble.
He is because they're going to put the belt on him.
Oh, gee, they better not.
They're gonna.
They better not.
I believe they're going to too.
I'm going to go all in with All Elite Wrestling to do that crap. This is the time of year, every year, WWE gets me excited. They better not pull some dumb shit like that. That's all I'm saying.
That's kind of what they do, though. That's their
That's
MO.
exactly what they do. And I
their
can come
gimmick.
back every freaking time.
I mean, I don't know.
Big Cliff says, impotent. Change it. That's what I need to do.
Agreed.
Derek Christian agrees. Mark Scott says this year, WrestleMania. Undertaker can go be buried alive. I'm done with him.
Yeah.
Jason Heiser says, but the greatest is yet to come.
We're on the same page.
Oh, yeah, there's the
Right
Roman. Yeah, the Roman's music, yeah. How about if Batista comes back? Well, I think...
He's made so many returns now, I don't think it's as exciting anymore.
No, I don't think so. And they kind of ruined it for him when they tried to push him as a babyface a couple years ago when he come back.
Yeah.
People just was not having it. They was like, no.
They brought him back at the wrong time.
Yeah.
That was all Daniel Bryan's fault.
It was.
I mean, if you make people boo Rey Mysterio,
right?
Then yeah.
I'm glad it didn't stick on Ray.
Yeah, me too.
All right, some more I wrote down here to talk about, guys. We'll touch base on it, then we'll move on. Edge in the 2010 Royal Rumble after tearing his Achilles in July. They returned to the Rumble to win and then go on to WrestleMania. Let's see, Matt Hardy in 2005 after the breakup with Lita. And Matt Hardy comes back and has a scruff.
That was good.
And then disappears again.
When he shows up in Vince's limo.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. Shawn Michaels returned to fight Triple H. We talked about that. Shane McMahon. We didn't talk about this one. Raw in 2016 after being gone for nearly 7 years.
That was huge.
That was they worked me on that one. I had no idea Shane McMahon was going to be there.
I was sitting with Resner, and I legitimately was like, "What is happening right now?" Like it was.
Yeah.
That was a happy moment.
It was
because we got work.
Yeah. That's all we want.
Yeah.
That's all we want. Just work us a little bit.
Just treat us like the idiots we are.
Stone Cold, Backlash 2000, when he was out for 9 months with his neck and then comes back. That was a pretty big moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then The Rock, 2011. We talked about that.
That was mine.
Yeah. There's been a lot of great ones through the years, but essentially what we're trying to say, WWE, is just surprise us every now and again. We enjoy it. That for me is what got me as a wrestling fan. Once I really started getting into all the characters, I wanted to be worked. I wanted to be surprised. And it's not the same for me watching wrestling now, because now I watch it in a different way than when I watched it when I was younger. When I was younger, I watched it as a fan, and even now I'm watching like, yeah, this is going to happen. Yeah, they're going to do this. They're going to do this. That's why I like independent wrestling, because they're outside of the box a lot of times, and they do things a little differently. WWE program, you pretty much know what's going on, what they're going to do. That's why I like the two cold opens this week with Daniel Bryan and who was on Raw? Oh, was it Seth Rollins?
Oh yeah,
it was great. And then you had Lashley and Leo Rush come out in the middle of promo. It was good because it was different. It was something fresh. But anyway, I digress. I can talk about that for a long time.
Well, I have a thought about the shows this week. What I'm afraid of is at the Royal Rumble is that, like we said, we like surprises. We like to be surprised.
Yeah.
I want somebody new to come back at the Royal, or new to show up at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, we got the Hurricane last year.
I said new.
Oh, no, okay. Then.
Like when AJ Styles shows up.
What, MJF at the Rumble?
Or if Kenny Omega showed up.
If Kenny Omega showed up, that would be huge.
It would be, but...
Even if they go the way of bringing somebody from NXT, like a bigger name, Adam Cole.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm afraid of. Is I'm afraid all these people that are coming soon are all going to debut at the Rumble, and they're all going to lose. Now, wouldn't it have had just made sense? They did Raw in Orlando. Why didn't at least somebody make their debut on Raw? Right. They're in Orlando. They live there. Like, it just makes sense that I'm like, oh, you're in the town of NXT?
I see when they had a couple dark matches, but...
Yeah, EC3 had a dark match and whatever, but it's like, oh, come on. Like, you're in front of essentially the hometown crowd. Mm-hmm. People are going to cheer you there. And it just didn't make any sense to me as to why not even like Lacey Evans or, Heavy Machinery, somebody just show up and do something.
Lacey Evans
for the Rumble and let him have a good show.
Lacey Evans, a.k.a. Scarlett Bordeaux Light.
Lacey Evans, let me know when her photos leak, okay? Appreciate it.
That woman is a Marine and a... All right, there you go. At least show some respect.
Next week on the show, I don't know if Rich is going to be here.
No.
But next week on the show, this is going to be fun because the Royal Rumble is my favorite WWE pay-per-view. Brian, I think it's yours also, correct?
Besides WrestleMania, yes.
Okay, well, boo on you. Royal Rumble's my favorite. I'm ahead of WrestleMania just for the surprise element. I know at least I'm going to get 1 or 2 surprises at the Royal Rumble. But anyway, next week's topic is going to be who was the most surprising Royal Rumble entrant ever. It doesn't have to be anybody on the graphic, of course. It can be anybody.
Why is Drew Carey not on that list? Is that him?
That's him right there dancing.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's him dancing. But that's next week's topic, so that should be a lot of fun.
No, I have more important things to do. Tomorrow or next week, whenever you are down here living the dream, I'm going to be in New York City, so I have more important things to do. Yeah, I'll be sure to send you pictures. I'm going on vacation.
Just don't hack the program again is all I ask.
Well, maybe someone should have thought of that before they left me out of the graphic.
I told you come back next week, I'll put you in intro.
Lies and slander.
Truths, nothing but truths. Derek, do you have any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Royal Rumble. Defending champ.
It's coming.
Hey, there was a comment earlier. Let's
January 23rd. It's coming, guys, right here on the Ramble Network. You can find it right here on the Royal Ramble channel. Royal Ramble Rumble is going to be here before you know it. Now, what was you saying, Derek?
There was a comment earlier during our pros and cons that you didn't touch on. I really thought you were going to. From a Mike Loving, surprisingly. Said his con.
Don't say his name 3 times.
Was me trash talking the people who had cut promos without actually cutting one myself. Mike Loving, that was a promo. That was me showing you exactly how to say what you want to say and not have to write it down and read it off cue cards. It was said, spoken clearly, and meant every word of it.
The chance of Derek winning against me is about as good as Virgil beating Hulk Hogan in a one-on-one match.
Okay. Now, honestly, I don't know what he means by that first comment.
Oh, he didn't do one himself.
See, he did a promo so good, you didn't even know he cut one, did you, dummy?
It was live and in living color. I didn't cut it and record it and re-record it and then send it to John and hoped he put it on the page. I did it right here where everybody that will watch the Rumble and watch that show watch you get beat.
Royal Rumble. Not anything that you said.
The winner gets a nice little prize pack January 23rd, guys.
Uh-huh.
And I'm putting the questions together.
Brian's putting the questions together. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you guys want to get entered, you still have time to contact us here on the page.
Oh, no. Bring that up. This is my last show. We were not going to end with him. Rich Quick don't even know how to spell New York City. You are the most illiterate son of a bitch I have ever met in my life, Mike Loving. You didn't even spell that stuff correctly. Okay, quick lesson. It's called punctuation, okay? Quick is my last name. See, right there below me? See,
he never gets the names right.
Now that comes capital.
They're always there.
The names are below you, all right? You refer to yourself, Loving, in the lower
You
case.
don't deserve this, Mike. I'm sorry, you don't deserve this.
Telling me I don't know how to spell? Oh, hello, pot. How's kettle? Jesus Christ.
Brian, do you have any final thoughts before we get out of here, brother?
I do, actually. I wanted to mention the fact that there was a house show that made national wrestling news.
He was there, correct?
And Dean Ambrose had sold the curb stomp for 15 minutes in the middle of the ring while everyone filed out of the arena, and I happened to be there.
There's your kayfabe there, hot stuff.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Brian. Did you stay and watch to see what was going to happen, or did you leave?
Unfortunately, I left. I didn't realize it was going to be as big of a deal as it was.
Yeah.
But I did stay for a little while, and when I was walking out of the arena, I was like, "Man, is he going to lay there forever?" But I had my kids with me, and everybody wanted to leave, and we wanted to beat the traffic. So yeah, we got out of there. But yeah, it was in Fort Myers, Florida. It was a really great event. Seeing John Cena was a big deal. My 7-month-old, it was his second wrestling show, his first WWE show, and he loved it. And except for John Cena's entrance, he got really scared at all the sounds.
He's never seen so much hair.
Yeah,
Look who his father is. He's never seen a full head of hair before.
Yeah, he seen the back of John Cena's head, and it was okay because he seen how bald it was. But
good
man,
friend of the show, guys. Leonard Sims says, "Happy New Year's, Happy New Year's, Leonard. Good to see you,
Happy New Year's, there, pops."
But yeah, that's pretty cool, Brian. Those actually this Friday they're going to be in Charleston, I think. If I'm correct.
They were in Fort Myers on that day, and it was
close to Orlando or Jacksonville.
No, it's nowhere near Orlando or Jacksonville. But it was about 15 minutes from my house, and it was a really awesome show. Honestly, they did a triple threat with Finn Balor, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre, and it was really good. And there was a really good match between Baron Corbin and John Cena. Baron Corbin, he did pretty good.
I'm this close to not liking Baron Corbin or not liking Baron Corbin. You know what I mean? I'm this close. There's still something there that I'm not getting. Not it's not jiving for me, but I'm close. I'm closer than I was.
You know what I noticed about Baron Corbin is, there's this whole. Well, the whole fact that he wears his shirt all the time is kind of weird. But I noticed that he has got a gigantic chest tattoo now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I don't know what it is.
No, he's always had a gigantic chest tattoo.
Has he?
Yeah.
Has he always had one? Because it looked very fresh. I think he might have something. I think he might have something new there.
He might have added to it a little bit or something, but he's always.
I was just wondering if maybe that's the reason why he's wearing the shirt. I'm not 100%
No,
sure.
he's wearing the shirt. Come on, you know why he's wearing the shirt.
Because he doubles as the.
Because he used to be a big dude. I mean, all the credit in the world, Baron Corbin. But you were a huge man when he played football, and we tried to lose weight, and he couldn't get the abs, and then people kind of made fun of him and called him fat, even though he was not. He just doesn't have abs. But so I think because he did kind of look like a giant toe. Like he should have shaved his head, but that wasn't a good look for him either. No, so I just don't know. Cool finishing move for a not cool wrestler.
Not cool.
That is a very, very cool finishing move.
I'm
Very
hoping
cool
that
finishing
he can
move.
figure things out because I want to not liking him, but I'm still a ways off. There's still needs something to be done. And I really hate how Dolph Ziggler's kind of getting brushed under the rug again. But you all right, Derek?
I'm good. I'm just.
All right, that's about all the time we have for today for Brian Resner in Florida. Rich Quick, who's going to be in New York next week, right?
Yeah, and then I'm going on vacation. I never have to speak to you idiots again. Oh, but I'll send you pictures, like I said.
Send us a postcard. Derek Jones. I'm John Covey Cole. Before I leave, guys, I'm going to send you off with this Pro Wrestling Inception this Saturday in Parkersburg. If you guys haven't checked them out, go check them out. I just learned about these guys this week. But until next week, my friends, ramble on.
We're going to get you a big map of Florida and just put it like that.
I'll have two spots.
The state is just split in half, Jacksonville and Orlando.
See you guys next week.